Hey guys, welcome back to my podcast, A Moment with A. As you guys know, my name is Akeele. Hey guys, hey guys, my name is Akeele. Welcome back to my podcast, A Moment with A. As you guys know, my name is Akeele. Hey guys, hey guys, my name is Akeele. Hey guys, hey guys.
Bye.
So hey guys, welcome back to my podcast, A Moment with A. Thank you. What's up, YouTube family? So I'm so excited and happy to be back. OMG, happy October. This is low-key my favorite month in the entire year because, you know, your girl was born this month. You know, I decided to come out of my mom's womb, like, I'm gonna head out. And so you guys are welcome. I love October. It's fall. It's just great all around. So happy October. It's so crazy that we're like, this year is over. Mm-hmm. We're about to be in 2020, Mark. 2020.
A couple months more.
2020. But as you guys know, my name is Akeele, and I'm here with Sassy.
Hi.
Yes.
Sassy girl and Mark. Okay, I don't.
He always does that.
But honestly, we just had really good energy, and so we're gonna go ahead and try to keep it up, of course. So just to kind of recap on our last episode, which was called Guard Your Heart, it was really awesome, and we really just talked about soul ties and how do you guard your heart when you're kind of in your season of singleness. And so yeah, if you haven't listened to it, go check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and the YouTube video will be up soon if that's what you prefer. And this is actually our last episode for our Sis This Ain't It series. And it's so crazy because I feel like we just started it, you know? But it's okay because we're going to have some other great things, some other great topics. We're moving to a really popular topic next week, and I'm really excited for it. But I'm not going to spill the tea just yet. I'm not going to spill those beans. But yeah, so kind of talking about a couple of projects that I'm working on. I was just telling my roundtable before we started recording that I'm going to be featured on a couple of different podcasts this month. So be on the lookout for that. And then I have my first blog feature that's going to be up on the website on November 1st. So go ahead and mark your calendars. I'm actually going to be featured on, it's this group that I'm in. It's called Women of Color Podcasters. And they asked me to write a blog for their website. So I did. So yes, you guys get to read it. And it was really good. And I'm really proud of my work. So yes. So moving into our topic today, to really wrap up this series, you know, bring it around the mountain, close it on up, the best way I think to end it is to be with the most important thing, which is keeping God first. Mm-hmm. And how to keep God first. So we're really going to be examining that question tonight of like, how do I keep God first? And just, yeah, things like that. But before we do that, you guys always know I like to do a little... Is this segment really that bad for you guys? It's just a couple of questions, you know.
Like, excited.
Like that? You're so excited you're gonna kill it.
Kill it.
So honestly, just a couple of questions just to kind of get us loosened up a little bit, you know. Besides, you know, we're having this conversation. So you thought I was gonna forget my question about, see, you don't even remember it, but anyways. We were having a little conversation before you guys arrived at your time. And I wanted to know, like, what would be your perfect date? Oh. Yeah, now you remember. It was like 20 minutes ago. So what would be your perfect date? Like, if you had to just plan it out from start to finish, like, dang, this would be my perfect date. What would it be?
All right. I know.
She's been thinking about this.
All my life.
See this.
You got the floor.
snacks, of course. A lot of snacks.
Don't forget the snacks.
And just like, the two of us, perfect. No one's there. Just like not enough light, not a lot of light so people don't see us, so they don't come away, but enough to see each other. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. And just like,
Okay.
it sounded better.
No, it sounds great. It sounds really sassy.
Okay, cool.
So is this like a first date or like we've been talking a little bit?
We've been talking a little bit, and comfortable enough. Cause I wouldn't go just with
A random?
yeah,
You
like
could be a
this
serial
is
killer.
yeah, you don't know, and throw my body in the sea or something. But no, anyways. But we've been
I
talking
got
a
your
little
location.
bit. Oh yeah, we always send each other locations. But yeah, that anywhere, well, the beach, sunset,
Snacks.
away from people.
Snacks.
A lot of snacks, like a lot.
What would be the go-to snacks?
Oh, Mark, do
On the
you?
spot, like that.
No, go-to snacks. I feel like it'll be anything that has chocolates.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
dark chocolates.
Yes.
With cherries.
Please.
Ooh,
Cranberries.
Y'all getting hungry? She said, ooh.
Goosebumps.
What about you, Mark? Perfect date.
Well, if I were to get creative, a perfect day would be like the whole day and night, like the whole experience. So,
Okay.
I think it would start off early breakfast, probably go out for some coffee and maybe some empanadas, real good. Afterwards, go somewhere like to explore, maybe a museum or parks. Love going to Universal, love going to those parks. It's just, you get out, just feel like you get out of, this, reality and you just go to a whole different world. And then nighttime, obviously, just chill. Just chill, I don't know, I just don't think about going to an expensive restaurant. Like,
Yeah.
you just eat and you just go.
Yeah.
And I'd rather us both do something we haven't done, explore.
Like
just
an experience.
experience. Just when we are done with the day, to feel like we were like in a whole different place, that we're just getting back from a vacation or something like that.
That's dope.
So the whole day, Mark.
The whole
Yeah.
day.
You won't get drained.
Listen, here's the thing.
You guys
Like,
take breaks like in between.
Yeah, go over there.
no,
Charge.
because the thing is, if you plan it, then you're like, okay, say you plan to go to the beach, right?
Mhm.
You get up early, you go, and then you eat, and then you come back. It's kind of like, sunset time when you're coming back. So with the whole day, I mean, like, we're going back home like 8-ish, 9-ish o'clock. That's a lot. It's a lot. But if you're with the
You must really like that.
if
person.
you're listen, if you're with the right person
Mhm.
and you're doing like you have the right plan, right places to go, it's fun.
That's right.
It's fun.
So why empanadas? That was just really
Yeah.
specific.
Because I went to, and I'm not sponsored, but Mercado's Bakery, and just in the morning, if you grab a cappuccino and you got some good empanadas with some good salsa roja or cilantro or garlic sauce.
I'm hungry.
And this is what, guys. First of all, let me just make something abundantly clear. On your cheat day, right? Because,
Here you go. With
but just to keep a balance.
on your cheat day.
I'm just saying, hot empanadas with coffee on the side in the morning, it's just the best thing ever.
We should go.
We should.
Yes, go.
I think my perfect date. Well, first of all, like it has to be planned. Like I can't do like a last minute sporadic. I don't really have it together type thing because it's just not. It gives me anxiety. So a planned out day. I don't know if it would be all day, but that's a lot of energy. Okay, yeah. So it's definitely something that was like really planned out, where like they took their time and like they got to know what I liked, and then they planned it out to cater to me. So like probably something like the museum or like a book signing of like one of my favorite artists or one of my favorite podcasters, something like that. And then like a nice coffee shop so we can like sit down and have like a real intimate conversation in the corner somewhere, you know. That just sounds really lovely, you know. And a good hot dog stand, you know, would be nice. That's just like honest.
All beef, like really.
Thank you, Mr. Gaines. Like, I don't know, like, I just love, like, the idea of, like, you know, okay, we get out of the coffee shop, then we're walking down the street, like, oh, look at this cute little food place, and then we go try it, and it's super good. And then at the end of our date, we go get ice cream.
Yes.
Can you stop judging? Like, do you mind? Dude, this is literally Mark and I at work for hours. Him judging what I'm eating.
Listen, it sounds amazing.
Except if it was with vegan food. If I was starving.
So the way that it is hot dogs and then ice cream, like.
It's coffee first.
And
then hot dogs.
Yeah. And
then ice cream. Get it right, Mark. Listen.
Yeah.
And then listen.
So that will low-key be my perfect date. Oh no, but we missed a museum. Like a museum or something.
Right.
Some like an experience. Like I'm the kind of same way. Like yeah, we can go eat at a restaurant. I love food. Don't get me wrong, but like we don't really. I hate small talk. Oh my gosh.
Define small talk.
How's it going?
Oh,
How was your day?
It's going. Like, what do you want from me?
How was your day is good though.
No, it is not. No, it is not. No,
going good.
I'm going to tell you I'm going to tell you fine or okay.
Yeah.
Like that's just how introverts work. Like if you ask me something, if you ask me a surface question, you're going to get a surface answer.
So like if you ask that type of question, like how was your day? It depends on how you ask it. Like you can ask like what was the worst part of your day today?
Okay,
that's
yeah.
different. That's intentional.
Who made
that's
you so
different.
angry today?
Okay, why does it
Or-
focus on angry?
Okay, what's the best part? Like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
the
yeah.
highlight of your day?
Yes, that's a lot different than like someone, like I had someone text me today, how's everything going?
I'm good.
What part of my life are you talking about? Like you have to ask me a specific question or I'm going to tell you it's going fine. So I hate the idea of small talk, just FYIs is you gotta, I don't know, I just feel like you gotta take the time to learn a person.
I mean, there's a right way to do everything.
True.
So, you know, if you get good at small talk, you might as well, you know, I don't know.
It's my perfect date.
Perfect, yeah. So, no small talk.
No small talk, just straight to the chase. Right there.
Right there.
Hit me with it, whatever you want to know. Oh my god, like beating around the bush. Like, what do you want to know? What? Just ask me.
Yeah.
Okay. What is one random thing that just makes you completely uncomfortable?
You said gel?
No. I'm
I thought you said gel.
You been to jail?
No. It was just a sound that, yeah, no.
People getting too close to me.
We were just talking about that. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. I be at work, customer will come like telling me something, I back up, they get closer. I'm just like, don't get too close to me.
Do you mind?
Like, boundaries.
People legit don't care about boundaries.
It makes me uncomfortable.
What about you, Eriq? Just a random thing that just makes you uncomfortable. Yeah.
I guess when people like, we have like a parent like screaming at their kids like in front of you, or somebody with their phone. Like there's a thing about Orlando, like back from where I'm from, we're discreet. We have like our privacy boundaries, right? If you're talking to somebody on the phone, it's just you and that person. Here though, FaceTime, everything, you get to see who they're looking at, the background, like you get to see where they live, and just the whole conversation is exposed to you because they don't care, right?
Yeah.
I could imagine if I would get myself involved in the conversation, it would be rude. But then again, am I not already involved? Like it's but you know, But just people engaging in these private, personal conversations in front of you, it kind of throws me off. I'm like, I don't need to know that, So,
TMI.
TMI,
Yeah. I love how old-fashioned you are. It's dope. Keep it.
Just, discretion, guys.
For real. Like, I get uncomfortable when people talk about, like, sex just openly, just like...
Oh my god.
Like, it literally makes me so uncomfortable. Do you mind? I don't.
Walk it away.
Back up.
Somebody randomly asks you, like, oh, are you into this? Or, like, something like that. Like,
we're not even that cool.
what are you even talking about?
That is too much for me. Like,
and then they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought, you were up to having those type of conversations. Why would you think that? Why would you?
What
assume?
vibe did I give off that allowed you to even think that?
People are weird.
They are. Well, you guys already know, like, my biggest pet peeve in the entire world. I hate when people cough. Like,
Wait a second. Wait a second.
No, like when we're at work and someone's just openly like, like I literally despise it. It makes me so mad. Like I want to just hit them because it's just so rude. And they don't cover their mouths and they're just like, it's like, why does it sound like death is in your lungs? Like, why do you cough like that?
I mean, I would be like just trying to suppress with the cough and just
do that. But I'm just saying when people just openly
that's
like
just,
it's just the worst.
germs,
I hate. Yes. Oh my gosh. There was this guy at work, and he was standing at the coffee island, and he does this all the time. And he would just come in and just stand there on his phone, just standing there, and then he would just cough, just on all of the coffee stuff. And then when he leaves, I have to take time out of my shift and sanitize the entire thing because it is so nasty. Like, you're disgusting. I hate you, and I don't think you should be born. I don't think you should be born. I don't care. That's how I feel. It's
guys,
gross.
You don't mean
You
that.
just need to pray.
I'm just saying, like,
temporary thoughts. Like,
Yeah.
that's just my biggest, like, it makes me so uncomfortable. Or, like, when little kids, oh, don't get me started. When they just cough.
We don't go for them.
I'm sorry.
just don't cough, guys.
Or just cover your mouth. That's all I'm saying.
Choose not to cough.
Yeah.
One thing though, when I'm in the bathroom and I see somebody just walk out, they don't wash their hands.
Oh my
Jesus.
gosh.
What, like, how many things do they touch within
oh my
the
gosh.
store? Or it's just, why? Why do you
Free
not?
water is so, like,
Just,
literally, it's like
I feel like some people,
It is just nasty.
Listen, I feel like some people don't acknowledge germs and bacteria and dirt like other people do.
They don't
Some people
care
are
because they're
like,
selfish.
no, but they're so okay with being around. Like,
Ugh, it's just
Germs.
germs. I can't
Yeah.
even think about this right now because it's just making me uncomfortable. Or I don't know, or like when I'm in the bathroom, low key chilling, and someone comes in and start pooping.
okay.
Ew.
It's like you're so
Okay.
rude.
First of all, how do you number 2 in public? Like,
I just
that's
can't.
your.
It's just
not
so
your home.
disrespectful. Like you see me in here slacking. You see me in here slacking, and here you come ruining my vibe.
She's talking about slack. Like, I can't even come in and check my phone for
Exactly.
nothing. Like, first of all, I'm checking my phone like I check my fridge. I know
Period.
what's in there. I'm just trying to take a breather. And I can't even breathe.
Exactly.
You're over here.
Exactly.
Just intoxicating.
Exactly. It is so rude and uncomfortable.
Oh my god.
Okay, bring it back. Bring it back. What's your go-to scripture right now? What scripture are you meditating on, or like, you know, when you're stressed out? Why are you? Why are you looking at Sassy?
I'm letting you know, like, okay, just
Oh, he wants you to go
Take-
first.
take-
Okay, cool.
if you want.
It's actually from our Bible plan, Rejoice Always.
Mm.
The Bible plan we're doing, Akeele.
Okay, I didn't say that I didn't know. I was just giving eye contact
You look so
to be
confused.
respectful.
Affirming.
You know, thank you, Mark. Jeez, no faith. I know we're doing
Okay,
a Bible
cool.
plan.
I know we're doing it.
Rejoice.
Do you-
The title.
Yes.
Rejoice
notification that I commented.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
What's it about?
Basically, yeah, I can tell you what it's about. Basically, it's teaching us how to let me.
To be happy.
No, whoa, I'm asking you.
Oh, rejoice.
Yeah, it's teaching us how to be patient in our season of waiting. So it's pretty dope. And it's called Rejoice Now, I'm guessing.
No, the verse.
Oh, yes, that was our scripture from today.
But wait, because we're talking about to go to scripture. So what would be the the verse? Go to.
Rejoice.
That
That was
the
the scripture.
verse. Oh, but I don't remember where it's at.
Rejoice.
Always. That's what it said.
Can you guys hear the judgmental tone coming off of Mark?
I'm just listening. Rejoice.
My go-to scripture right now, which is it's been the same for the past 2 months, is for only I know the plans that I have for you. It's in the book of Jeremiah. I want to say, I'm not even going to want to say because I don't remember the verse or the chapter, but I really love that scripture. It gives me comfort.
Listen. Rejoice. Okay.
I can stand it sometimes.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. So, I've been reading Hosea, that's how you say it in English? Hosea?
See, I know how to say mine in French. I just can't.
Hosea. So, basically it talks about the relationship that God has with the people of Israel. And it's crazy. It's just, it blows your mind. First of all, it says that God tells this man, get married to a prostitute. Why though? Why would I get married to a prostitute? Like an unfaithful prostitute. And just, here's the thing, like it's illustrating God's relationship as a faithful husband to an unfaithful wife. So it's like the people of Israel are just like, worshiping their other gods and idols. And here is God still being faithful as a faithful husband. Just waiting for that wife to just realize this is where it's at. I'm still here, So it's like, it just blows your mind. God's love will always overwhelm you. So, yeah.
That's dope. So, that's really a good segue into our topic today, which is how to keep God first. But the first question is, what is the biggest struggle that you face with keeping God first as a millennial? Like in this world, in this day and age, what do you think is the biggest struggle or like the biggest thing that blocks it or makes it hard for you to really have that relationship with God, but like be authentic and basically exist in a world that teaches you to be the opposite of what God calls us to be?
The biggest thing.
The struggle of keeping God first, it would be keeping God first. Because let's just be honest, it's the one thing that we don't do that doesn't allow us to do it. It's, you have a choice always. You wake up, you decide what you're going to do with your day, who you're going to speak to. Well, not that, because you speak to a lot of people unexpectedly, but you decide whether you start your day with God or not. Either you're lazy, you don't wake up early, you don't pray, or you just make up these reasons, excuses to not do it. It's like,
I'm busy.
You choose not to. It's like a choice. How do I keep God first? Well, acknowledge who He is in your life. Is He important in your life? Is He a priority? What place does God occupy in your life? You'd be surprised. A lot of us that call ourselves Christians, God is like way down there. Like, if I have some time, if I remember, or if I feel good. Whether, like, because you go to your job every single day. You wake up, you're like, I don't want to get fired. I need to get paid. But you don't think the same about God. Like, I need to get up and pray because He's the source of my life. Man shall not live by bread alone, but from every word that comes out of the mouth of God. So, like, if is He your life, lying your source? Is he? Do you choose him to be? So my biggest struggle is to be loyal.
That's an interesting
yeah,
word.
to be loyal to him, because he's always there, but I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
And then I go back, you know.
It kind of reminds me of this Joyce Meyer's video or sermon that I watched about, and basically she said that like we try to fit God into our schedules instead of fitting our schedules around God. You know, and I know that's something that I struggle with, because it's really easy to get caught up in like, oh, I have to do this, I have to go to school, I'm about to graduate, I have to do all this, but then like I don't stop and think about the person that made it possible for me to be able to do all these great things. There's a scripture, gosh, I know it's in Deuteronomy. That one. And I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I'm going to find it. And it basically talks about how we're always first in God's life, but we can go days at a time without talking to him. And that makes my heart hurt, you know, because we have like this father, we have this father that's here for us, and he's waiting for us, arms open, and we're just like, I'll get at you later, you know. But that's just kind of what that reminded me of.
It's interesting too, because the reaction that God has towards us that's steer away is not a negative one. You know, he says it in Hosea 2, where he's telling this woman that's worried about, you know, her children. He tells her, don't cry, because I'm gonna make my children abide at their house, their home again. Like, they're not here now, but I will call them. They're gonna hear me like a lion, and they're gonna come back, you know, to be where they belong, you know, which is in the feet of Jesus, of God. So it's interesting. He reacts in a loving way.
Always.
You know, praise him for that.
Yeah, it's funny you said loyal, because we think like, oh, if we love someone, we'll be loyal to them. But like sometimes we say we love God, but we're not loyal to him. We are not spending time with him. So it's just like, do we really love him? But no, I just thought it was interesting. Okay, so what I struggle with is resting in him. I do a lot. I get overwhelmed, but then I'm just like, oh, what's next? And I'm like, go everywhere, but God is just like, just rest. I'm here. And this is why I feel like this morning when I did the plans and I saw the verse, rejoice always, and I was just like, this is a reminder, because like sometimes I tend to just be so stressed and be like sad and overwhelmed, but then he's just like, no matter what, just rejoice in me. So I'm learning to like rest in him, just to be like, just one day where I don't do nothing, just me and God, and just like rest.
And also think commitment, you know. What are your commitments like? You know, are you committed to your church, to your family? Do you even commit?
I don't know why, that just reminded me of something that my pastor said one Thursday, so Bible study, and super random but connected, and he just basically said like a man that has a healthy view on God is going to have a healthy view on you. So that kind of reminds me of like commitment, and how having a relationship with God, it's like having a relationship with any other person, except it's a lot more important because it's the lifeline. You know, how I have a relationship with God is probably how I'm going to have a relationship with my husband, and just so on, so my friends, to my coworkers, to everyone else. But it's like, if that relationship is not where it should be, if he's not able to reach me the way that he needs to, it's like, it's going to spread out, and it's not going to be good. You know, but I think my biggest struggle with keeping God first, at least right now in this season of my life, is just really understanding that I'm chosen and that I can't be like everybody else. You know, that's something that I really like struggle with a lot, especially like in this kind of like world. It's because like my friends, like some of my friends, not all of them, some of my friends, they get to like party and just drink and do what they want, and they don't have to worry about their souls. It just, you know, like they have this sense of like, I guess, freedom. But I feel like when you're called to serve God's people the way that I know I'm called to serve God's people, I can't be like them.
Yeah.
I have, you know, I'm the vessel of the kingdom, like I'm a part of his kingdom, so it's like, you know, so that's just always a struggle for me, but I think I'm learning to get more comfortable with who I am. Like, I am who I am. I can't change Akeele. I can't change. And I should be grateful and happy that God has chosen me, which I am, but it's still like, I wish I could go to the club this day. JK, I don't go to clubs at all. That was a bad example. Like, I wish I could do this the way that this person gets to do this.
I mean, isn't it
Interesting, like you desire those things that you're not supposed to have. It's kind of the tendency that we like relationships with somebody who's already married, or just drinking when you know you have an alcohol problem, stuff like that. It's always like the main desire is what you're mainly supposed to avoid. Mainly supposed to avoid. I think in all, it's a you reap what you sow situation. It's always like you are what you do. Your habits take up your day. So to be able to give God to people, you have to first seek Him for yourself. You know, you can't give something that you don't have. So reap what you sow. Your relationship with God, like you said, it's gonna affect the relationship with others. But do you have a relationship with God? You know, do you, or do you kind of do? Do you think you do? Or you should say you do?
Do you know?
Yeah.
You know, like what does it look like to have a relationship with God?
Why do you like having a relationship with God? And if you can't answer that, then was He real? Who is He for you? How do you describe Him? Oh, He's just God, and He's big, and He's good. How do you describe Him in your life, though? Can you answer that? So.
I feel like we know once we have a relationship with Him, like our lifestyle changes and
It
like
does.
things that happen, just like this is not ordinary, this is God. Like, we know. Like, it doesn't have to be like something big, like the smallest thing. We just can look up and just like,
I see
this is
you.
God. Yeah, like,
I see what you did there.
And other people can see it too.
Yeah.
You know, like we have friends, and once our lifestyle start changing, they're like, oh, yeah, we can see the shift, and this just didn't happen. It's God.
That's super cool, because you're happier when you have God. Because when something good happens to you, you're not like, oh, it's just out of nowhere. It's just the universe blessing me.
That's the trend
and
right now.
Life, I just, well, I'm not gonna get into that. But when you know that it's God, like you're saying, you feel like somebody did this for me, and that somebody so happens to be my Father, my loving Father, that takes care of me every step of the way. So that's,
That's happened to me when like one of my closest friends, like he kind of was like, you know, I really see that your life has changed, you know, for the better, and I see once you gave your life to God, like you really live that lifestyle. I don't know what that means, but okay. But it is like other people start to see you change it too, which is great, you know. But then you have those other people too that's like, oh, she thinks she's better, you know, like, and stuff like that. Like, you think you too good to drink with us now? Yes, I'm joking. I'm joking.
It has to happen.
You know, like I really believe that sometimes you just outgrow people. You outgrow who you used to be, and not everyone is able to come to the next level with you. But just really being okay and content with that, like, you know, we used to be cool, we used to do some stuff, but now I don't do that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So stop inviting me out to do it, because I'm gonna say no.
They will still invite you. I remember, I think it's in Luke, like when the disciples, they were preaching and telling about God, and they were calling them drunk. Like some people were just like, oh my God, they just drunk. And other people were just like, oh my gosh, I want to hear about this God. So it'll always happen. I feel like if we only get the positive sides, then we're not doing something.
Yeah.
We have to get the bad side to just know that, You scared, huh? Okay. But yeah, it has to. We have to have both. And most of the time, the negative effect will always be more than the positive ones because that's how humans are. You know. I'm not human. I feel like I'm an alien.
You know, that would make sense for both of us, to be honest. We should explore that a little bit more. But, so what tips would you give someone, or like how do you personally keep God first in your life?
The same way like our mental health or physical health matters, like our spiritual health matters too. Like, okay, so I have a spiritual coach. So I meet with her every week. So we'll go over like spiritual goals. So she'll be like, so, you know, how are you doing like physically, emotionally? And then we'll talk about like the spiritual. It's like, what did you do last week to get closer to God? So like, you know, we go to therapy for like mental health, you know, but like, it's good to also have someone to keep us like accountable.
Yeah.
Like to tell like, you know, I did not pray this morning just because, you know, and they'll talk about this stuff like, why didn't you pray this morning, you know? So one thing she's actually helping me do is kind of like being transparent more. Like, I don't know how to get emotional. I just don't. So she was telling me how she feel like God gave us emotions to connect to others. And I cannot hide this part of me because then I will not fully be doing the work of God. So I know. I was just like, oh, I don't want
something
to.
that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Emotions.
Exactly. But then she did say that, like, you have to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If serving God was comfortable, everyone would have done it.
True.
But it's not. So, I don't know, like, setting goals for myself, spiritual goals, and, like, having people like you, Akeele, like, doing Bible plans together, talking about questions that I have. Just because I'm a believer doesn't mean I don't have questions. Actually asked those questions and talked about them and praying, basically getting closer to God. At least that's what I do. My spiritual coach is awesome. I'll make her listen to this. But yeah.
Having somebody to hold you accountable is always good. A partner in life, girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, whoever. You know, the Bible says confess, you know, each sin unto each other. You know, it's a way to it's a good method to, you know, be more aware of your sin. It's interesting because God never promised us an easy life. All his, you know, the most, the apostles that most preached, John the Baptist, God said there's no man on earth like him. There's not going to be a man like him on earth. He got beheaded. He got killed. You know, Paul was imprisoned. And he was tortured. He went through hell and back. And all these apostles that just went through the darkest times in their life. So God actually promises us tribulation, trials. So keep in mind that the only thing keeping your mind sane and keeping you with a sense of hope and happiness is the same God that warned you about these tribulations. You know, He is going to be your main source of saying, okay, but I have God. You know, I have Christ in my life. As Christians, that's our mentality. That's what it's supposed to be. Even though I'm in a season in my life, I have Christ. Even though somebody died in my family that I really loved, I have Christ. So, if our main source of hope is Christ, but He's we don't include Him enough in our lives, then where's our hope? Where's our hope?
That's good.
You know? So, have somebody, you know, your friends need to influence you into being a better you. If not, you know, what are you doing? if you just have one friend that motivates you to be better, keep that one friend. Keep people that are real, that can just tell you straight up, you are in sin, repent, or you're gonna burn it out. Because this is a reality. Like, you know, listen. Sometimes, listen, sometimes it's better for somebody to tell you consequences over, you know, it's just going to be okay, everything's going to...
Don't beat around the bush.
No. Okay, you're good, you're going to be good, God forgives you, but you need to fix that. You need to fix. So just be real, understand that God is your only source of life, hope, and just joy, you know, rejoice. Why do we rejoice? Because we have a lot of things in life, because we have replaceable things, we can rejoice because we can get them fixed. No, rejoice because regardless of what happens in your life, God has control over it, and He wants what's best for you. For all things work for the better good for all those who love God. Now, do you love God? Do you truly love Him? If you do, seek Him with all your heart.
That was a really nice sermon. You know, Mark's coming out with a new project, and I'm really excited for you guys to listen to it because
Praise God, yes. Pray for me.
you're going to be ordained one day.
Yeah.
Pray for me.
But I think the number one thing that I do, and I would suggest other people do to really keep God first in your life, is be intentional about the time and what you can do and should do to make and hold yourself accountable. Like, I absolutely know either when I wake up, I'm going to do my devotional, I'm going to pray, I'm going to have worship music playing so I can saturate my environment to get me ready for a good day. I know throughout the day, if there's a big decision that I have to make or on Facebook, I'm going to talk to God about it first. Like, listen, God, is this where you want me? Is this who you want me with? Is it like, let me know so that we're on the same page. Like, I'm really trying to get in the habit of like, instead of like, if something happens in my day-to-day, instead of me going to Sassy first or me going to like Joella first or me going to Pastor first, I want to go to God first to see what He thinks and see what, you know, before I go to like someone on this earth, because He's my lifeline. He's God. And then before I go to bed, I'm going to do a devotion or I'm going to pray or just turn everything off and just be silent and just spend time with Him. You know, like it's the best feeling in the world when it's just me and God and we're just vibing, just chilling.
Yeah. And what I said earlier about like once you start, when you do those stuff, people around you notice.
Yeah.
So my 5-year-old brother, the other day, he's so cute. Like, I was going to sleep and he was like, "Can I sleep with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I was really tired. And I forgot to pray. He was like, "What are you doing? You forgot to pray. Jesus is going to be so mad at you." And I'm like, oh my God. And then he was praying. He was like, "Jesus, sorry for my sister. She forgot." And I was just like, oh. It was so cute, but they paid attention.
Yeah.
If I was into something else, then he was probably going to pay attention to that thing and be like, "Oh, you didn't do this." But because I prayed every time before I go to sleep, he does it too. And he asks questions. He's like, "I want to see Jesus. Where is He?" And I'm like, "Heaven?" Like, you know? So it's really cool. Like, I love that he was just like, "Hey, you didn't pray. Like, get up."
And it's kind of a reminder that people are watching you.
Yeah,
They're
always.
watching you. Especially like Christians and young Christians, people, they watch us like a hawk to, let me see if they're going to mess up. Let me see if they really walk this walk. Let me see if they live by what they say. So that's just kind of like another thing that you have to think about. Like, if I'm portraying out on my social media that I'm a woman of God, that I'm God's girl, then my lifestyle should match that. Because, you know, one thing we hate is a hypocrite.
Yeah.
So it's just be intentional about everything.
Genuine. It says in the Bible that God listens to a spirit which is contrite, which is really humble, that actually repents and turns away from their sin. And the book of Mark says that we are the light of the world, the salt of the world. What happens when the salt loses It's salt. It's taste. You know, what kind of salt are we? Like, you know, it's like, are you, what do they call it? Pink salt, Himalayan salt? I don't know about that salt. To me, it's like you have to use so much for it to actually give you flavor. So I'd rather be sea salt.
Okay. Mark's hilarious. Okay, so do you guys have any last minute nuggets, any last minute tips of someone who's our age in their 20s struggling with their faith? Like one thing that you would tell them?
Be a man.
Or a woman of God. Commit. You know, you make plans for other things, make plans for God. Set a schedule. I'm going to pray and read the Bible every single day, whether it's 15 to 20 minutes. Just commit to a plan. This is not rocket science. You are somebody that, you know, you have habits and you decide whether they're going to be healthy and they're going to lead you to a better future or not. Are you going to be stuck or are you going to move forward? Seek Him with genuine intentions. You know, and He's going to be there. He's going to be there.
Every time.
I promise you, in the Bible it states it in a whole bunch of stories. Every time the repentant person came back to his house, to the Father was always there. So,
Yeah.
be real. My advice, be real.
I agree. Seek first the kingdom of God and everything else will fall into place.
Yes.
There's nothing else. Just do it.
It's okay to fail. It's okay to fall down.
Yes.
I love, because the saint is just a sinner who fell down and got up. So it's okay to fall down. It's okay if you miss a day or, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this, but recognize it and then just get better at it every day. But never give up or never feel like God has given up on you, because He will never give up on us. No matter how hard or how far we push Him away, He's still always going to be there with His arms open like, come home, my hard-headed child. And it's just amazing. It's dope. I'm just so grateful to be God's girl. Because period.
Rejoice.
Rejoice. But I really hope that you enjoyed our podcast episode and that you really enjoyed this series. It was so fun planning this series and seeing it be executed week after week. And be sure to always stay connected with me on social media. My Instagram name is @AMomentWithA. And I always have Sassy's and Mark's information in the podcast notes, so be sure to follow and connect with them as well. That's really all. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of A Moment with A. Bye.